Susan's worst nightmare, maybe even so for Noah and Nikki as well. Here I am, I'm standing in front of a group of people. Everyone's having a great time, and no one has any idea what I'm about to say.
Zero idea.
So first, a warm welcome and thank you to Nikki's parents, Sam and Anu, for their gracious handling of our sons and Nikki's wedding. It's an unbelievable undertaking. And Noah's mom, Susan, my wife Jennifer. We all want to extend a sincere welcome that you could join us tonight, and I know that a lot of you have traveled great distances to be here. You have no idea how much we appreciate that. We also want to take the time to welcome Niki to our family, not as a daughter-in-law, but as a true daughter. She is a splendid individual. There are also a couple of people, or a few, that could not be here tonight but are watching. One is Noah's grandma, Gigi, who's up in New Jersey. And I know my mom and dad, affectionately known as Nanny and Pop, and Pop Pop and Grandpa Harry. They're not here, but they're watching from heaven and are so thrilled to see this happen tonight. So it's really amazing how many milestones we have in our lifetime. And I remember when Susan and I, when we were expecting Noah, and we were sitting around talking, waiting for Noah to be born in Torrington, Connecticut, of all places. It was an incredibly exciting time. Yep. We were wondering, like, what kind of parents would we be and what kind of kid would we be having. And shocked the heck out of me, but when he arrived, like, I slipped into being a dad like that. I was just so thrilled to be a part of the whole process. Now, as time went by, I personally started looking at signs like what kind of child were we going to be raising. And my first real clue was when I took Noah to his first baseball game to watch the Orioles in Baltimore play Detroit. And we were sitting behind the third base dugout, and Detroit took the field, and I leaned over to Noah and I said, "Noah, the Tigers are out there warming up." And he looked at the Tigers, and he looked at me. Then he looked back at the field. Then he looked at me again and said, "Those aren't tigers, Daddy, those are men." And so, what was I going to say, right? Right? So, I knew I was raising a really rational kid at that point. But anyway, one hot dog and an ice cream later, we left in the middle of the first inning. And I guess the excitement of seeing the Tigers wore off, and so did the attention span of a 5-year-old.
Another moment. It's the same now.
Yeah. Another moment that gave me a little bit of an indication was when we were in Florida, and my sister Julie and my niece Jillian were in the car with Noah and I was driving, and they were in the back seat, and these motorcycles came zipping by, and Jillian got all excited and started screaming motorcycles, and Noah said to her, "Jillian, why do you like motorcycles so much?" She thought about it. She said, "I don't know, Noah, I guess God just made me that way." And Noah said, "She did?" And I was like, okay, resident, he's a Renaissance man, no question about that. Now, when he was about 10 years old, he started to really explore the boundaries of his existence in our relationship. And so we discovered that every little transaction turned into a negotiation. "Dad, if I eat my green things, can I stay up an extra hour and play?" Jennifer, if I do my homework now, will you let me play for another hour? Well, how about a half hour? How about 13 minutes? And Jennifer looked at me and she leaned over and says, "With skills like that, he's gonna be a lawyer." Son of a gun. So even still, as he gets older, you know, it's kind of natural to question whether he'd be successful or if he was going to be, you know, that child living in his parents' basement. And
Jesus.
you may not know this, Noah, you might not have noticed, but we never had a home with a basement in it.
That's true.
That is true.
Wow.
Yes, sir. But you didn't know the reason. But it was with great pride that we found finding himself in college and became successful in his chosen field. Happened to be the one Jennifer predicted, as you all know, and I got my answer about basement dwelling. Now, as he grew up, my wandering mind started to wonder what his future would be like, and I was truly pondering, since he seemed to be hetero. Yeah. Would he be choosing a woman to spend the rest of his life with, and if so, what would she be like?
Attaboy. Hotel choice.
So over the years, I got to meet a few really nice girls and a few that I had some questions about. None that I really felt that he had any connection with, like that connection. And then he introduced us to Niki, and it was really hard to describe what I saw between the two of them that day when he presented her to us. But the first thing I noticed was there was this unique sparkle in his eyes, and the best thing was when I looked at her, I saw that sparkle return. And so I'm not the most observant, and as most people that know me, I'm not the most empathetic person in the world, but didn't take a rock dropped on my head to realize that there was something special here, and something that comes along once in a lifetime, only if you're lucky. And to see the two of them together was to watch the planets align and watch the stars come together. And now that I've seen them work their way through a few of life's real difficult problems, I know that this is a match that was cemented through a kinship of the soul. So I'll admit now that when we first met Niki and saw them together, I looked at my wife Jennifer, and I don't know, she just kind of looked at me and she nodded and we both smiled at each other. We knew this was going to happen years ago, It was just one of those things. Niki's a warm and caring person. All of you who know her know that. She has a smile that lights up the room and a certain, I don't know what to call it. Let's just call it a je ne sais quoi quality about it that permeates the air and makes you feel a lot of comfort and joy and satisfaction. And it was very clear to me right from the start that she is the yin to Noah's yang. As someone who has raised my son to be a perfect gentleman, I have to tell you, Niki, that you have landed quite a catch. But you know who's even luckier? He is, for having found you. You are an exceptional person who means the world to Noah, and so you hold a special place in my heart because you are the woman who has made him happy. So that brings us to the point where I need to raise my glass wherever I put it.
There you go.
If you would join me.
Here it is. Cheers.
Congratulations to my wonderful son on marrying his best friend and soulmate, Niki. I am so happy to have you as our daughter and the newest member of our family. My boy could not have found a more perfect woman to share his life with. Hine, l'chaim, le'ahava, o shel, which means in Hebrew, here is to life, love, and happiness.
Woo!